Hello once again, YouTube. This is Mike with Conquer Roads, and today's adventure is going to take you through a 1 year or 12-month maintenance on a Subaru BRZ. Per this handy dandy little schedule here, the warranty and maintenance guide, we can look at this beautiful graph that for 12 months, which is here, the annotated items that have to be replaced, we have first an R for engine oil filter, and then perform, that's what the P is here, perform a rotate and inspect of tires. I went ahead and purchased all the items from Subaru directly, and we can look at the total price there, $103.76, and that to me is the number one reason why I am performing this myself. Just the oil change here in Honolulu is going to be approximately $180 plus tax, so you're starting to dance very close to $200. If you throw on the replacement and the labor, the parts with the cabin air filter, as well as performing the tire change, the rotation, you could be staring well over the country average. Online is $250, but I suspect in a lot of places you can start getting up to $300, $400, $500, even $600 for this 12-month service. Not really my cup of tea, so that's why I went for the $103.76 after tax version to go ahead and perform this myself. So in the box we have 6 quarts of SAE 0W20, so this is what the owner's manual recommends. I know there's a lot of debate on which oil to use. I'm just sticking with this. I don't live in a very cold climate or a super hot climate. It's very temperate here in Hawaii. So I have 6. The actual fill rate for oil is 5.3 liters per the owner's manual. I went ahead and got 6. Obviously, you can't get 5.3 with 5. So 6 it is. It'll probably be about 5.3 to 5.5. I might go a touch over for the actual oil fill. In this box, this is the cabin air filter, so we'll get more into that later. If you guys aren't tracking what that is, your air conditioning, especially when you have it on recirculate, you've got this little filter to replace it. It's kind of hidden behind the glove box. Pretty easy though. You're supposed to replace this every 12 months or 12,000 miles. So here this is. And then last but not least, part of the oil change. You've got the new crush washer. So this is an extra item to buy. As you can see, you've got your little gasket. You absolutely need this. It's paramount to have the new crush washer added. And then I don't think there's too much debate over your actual filter. So the oil filter, it is always recommended, if I can actually open this up, gonna tear it. Always recommended to use OEM oil filters. And there's this beautiful piece. Now I got this directly from Subaru. It is at least a rumor that there's knockoffs online. I can't believe somebody would fake a $10 part, but anyway, this is the real deal straight from Subaru, so I know it's the right thing. Okay, so those are the parts. Now let's talk about the actual items that you're going to need to perform this service. On the underside, once we jack up the car, you're going to have 3 10mm bolts in order to expose the drain plug. The drain plug is a 17mm, so your medium size drive is all you need really. I have an extension just in case, but a 17mm and a 10mm is all that's required as far as the oil change on sockets. So moving forward, This is for rotating the tires. So 19 millimeter is your socket. I have it attached to a breaker bar. And then once we get ready to tighten everything up, torque wrench, I'm very particular with this, so I'll check the owner's manual for the exact torque that's required and torque it to spec. Very important note, once you do a tire rotation, make sure that after about a week of driving, you go ahead and you take your torque wrench and hit it once more. It's 2 is 1 and 1 is none when you tighten lug nuts. And then more on the oil stuff. I've got, of course, a little funnel for the oil, container to store the oil, jack and jack stands. Let's go ahead and jack up the car and we'll get rolling first with the oil change. So the first thing you're going to do is, for the oil change, obviously, put prop open, you unscrew your little oil cap. That's just about vacuum pressure. So when I go to drain the oil, if it's unscrewed, it's going to outflow a little bit faster. I did drive around the block with the car beforehand, so it's slightly warm, not super warm. I don't want to burn myself, but that'll also allow the oil to go ahead and sift out faster. So when we get under the car, as mentioned earlier, you need a 10 millimeter. I use the lengthier version of the 10. And fun fact, I've had this set for well over a decade now, and I have all of my 10 millimeters lengthy and the Legend. So we're going to go ahead and get under the car. We've got 3 10 millimeter screws, and they are right here. 1, 2, 3. This is just an access panel. We don't have to worry about torque numbers and stuff like this when we put it back on. Just asked if you guys are enjoying what you're seeing. Please go ahead and hit the like. And if you do want to see more from Conquer Roads and myself in the future, please hit the subscribe button. It really does help out the channel. Thanks. And this is the 17 millimeter drain plug. You can see the crush washer from my first oil change I did a little bit ago. And we're going to go ahead and undo this. And there she flows. Okay, while that is doing its final drips, we'll go ahead and prepare the drain plug. No reason to replace the actual drain plug unless you want to get something magnetic or high speed like that. So as mentioned, triple check you get this off. And then I've got taped one, Subaru being high speed, and on it goes. We are ready to rock. Make sure we put this in, and this is at 29 foot-pounds to go ahead and replace it. Always make sure that you put the drain plug back in the car before you pour oil, otherwise you're going to be pretty sad. So make sure you give that a little bit of time. With the oil properly drained, go ahead and get the oil plug back in. Now I have my torque wrench, so I'm just under the 30 line with the 9, so 29 foot-pounds. Very gently, you can see the crush washer starting to get crushed and doing its job. And there's the click. 29 foot-pounds accomplished. Now we can just roll this back over. Get these hand tight back in. Okay, next up, we are going to put engine oil back in. So I saved this for last. I want to make sure that I don't do something ridiculous and actually forget to put oil back into the car. So we'll just set this aside, and we're going to go ahead and put in the full 5 quarts. Then I'll check the dipstick right over here just to kind of see where we're at. I do that as there could be some residual oil. More than likely I'll be putting 5.3 to 5.5 quarts in, but it's just a little safety feature. Okay, so here is the dipstick. I don't know if y'all can see that, but you can see we're okay. But this little dot, low oil, full oil, the difference in between the low dot and the full dot is 1.1 quarts. It's another test. So we're right about here. Now that the car is actually on the ground, so let's see where we're at. I'm hoping for just over the full dot. And we are just over the full dot. Look at that. Perfection. Let's try it one more time. And there it is. We are full oil just over, I mean, we are like a millimeter or two over that full dot. So that's exactly where I want to be. And for your information, I put in 5 quarts, and here is my line. I went to the 400. So if you want to copy me, so be it. I do recommend you take your own independent measurements as you go. Here's the label again. Oil filled back in. Go ahead and good to go. Now we'll move to the oil filter itself. And there we are. And the oil's starting things off. Okay, that is the under the hood portion of this mission. So next up we have the tire rotation. So I'll spare you from a lengthy bit on showing you, how to undo a wheel from the car and things of that nature. I will say that what you want to do is to loosen these up. You loosen up the ones in the front before you jack up the car. That was off camera. And the ones on the back, it doesn't matter too much. The parking brake's in the back, so you can go ahead and loosen those up, whether they're in the air or not. And how I'm going to rotate these is I'm going to go, this is front left, so driver's side for the US domestic market, driver's left, and I'm going to move that all the way back to the back right. And if you're wondering, the wheels are symmetrical on this car. They are the exact same. There's no width difference. You would call it a squared stance in the racing world. So it doesn't matter where they go. You maximize your rotation by putting them in opposite areas. So these are non-directional as well. You just make sure you have it lined up where it says outside, but you can look on the tire, there's no actual direction that they are required to go in. So you can put them anywhere you choose. I put them on the complete opposite side. And when I place on the lugs, I don't go all the way around like you were taking off the wheel. I will actually form a star pattern, so that way, at least in my mind, it balances out the compression onto the hub. before cleanup, we are going to replace this cabin air filter. You know, sometimes it's remarkable how many folks actually never replace this, but this is something that really, you can start getting some pretty damp and dank air inside your cabin if you use the air conditioning a lot if you don't switch this out. It's very, very inexpensive, 10 bucks and you're good to go. So anyway, let's go ahead and you open up the glove box. See if I can get a good angle. In the glove box, you pinch the sides and this will just quickly drop down. See how open that gets? Quickly drops down. And I can look in the back and see if I can show this to you here. Behind the glove box is this white box, and that's where the cabin air filter resides. So all I have to do is simply pull this little bracket back. This comes open. Let me hit the other side. Not easy with a camera, I suppose. Get that other side there. Alright, camera's going down. Take a look at my shifter. Here's the piece that comes off. It has little presses, little tabs that you have to hit on both sides. You hit them simultaneously, it'll pop right out. Now I've got the air filter exposed. You can see that there is a correct position to put this in. It says up here, and the text is facing the outside. So here we are, up, text facing outside. We'll take this out of the package. Just asked if you guys are enjoying what you're seeing, please go ahead and hit the like. And if you do want to see more from Conquer Roads and myself in the future, please hit the subscribe button. It really does help out the channel. Thanks. There we are. So that's how that should look. And let's go ahead. Ooh, you like my finger? Here we go. Let's pull this sucker out. Out it goes. Here's the 12-volt source, by the way, if you haven't seen my other videos. It's a little hidden cigarette lighter, or whatever they call it these days. There we go. Here's a little before and after. Oh my gosh, look at that. Look at all that junk. You get some pieces of leaves and no animals, that's a good sign. No ants or anything like that. Pretty dirty. You see it side by side. I mean, it's a pretty significant difference. So let's go ahead and get the new one in. Once again, make sure it says the text is facing you. Up is up. And let's see if I can do this one-handed. Not going to be able to do it. Stand by one. And in she goes. Great success. We will reinsert the tabbed panel. That's all there is to it. She's in. So definitely the fastest part of the install is replacing the cabin air filter. Biggest thing is just remember when you open up your glove box, I mean now it's all floppy, this is what you press in. You just push these panels in and pull down, and that'll get you the extra room to expose the cabin air filter bay and the 12-volt source. So ladies and gentlemen, that wraps up the 12-month service for the Subaru BRZ. I think it's safe to say, living in Honolulu, that I have saved myself at least half, if not more. I say half, like 100%, 200, 300%. $103 and about, I took my time, probably about 2 hours outside today. And tires rotated, oil changed, about 5.5 quarts, and great success. I'm actually curious to see how the car drives and handles with the rotated tires on this platform. I know in my rollerblading days in the 90s, when I rotated those little rollerblades wheels, it was an emotional event for about a week until they settled in. So that's it, ladies and gentlemen. Have a great day. I hope you got something out of this. Please go ahead and like and subscribe. It helps out the channel, and we'll see you another day. Cheers.